Alright, this is the last two things for today, I promise. And so we're going to do parts E and F of our final exam review. And so hopefully this part now will be a little easier since we've done subjunctive notes and we've kind of refreshed about what the subjunctive is and what expressions take it and how it's conjugated. And so we're going to look here, partir. If we look at partir and we take the third person plural, il plural parte, ent goes off, and you add your es here. So il faut que tu partes aujourd'hui. You need to leave today. So nice. Faut que tu partes. You have to leave today because your plane is arriving or your train is arriving or whatever, because you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Alright, so it's not necessarily a mean thing to say. It just sounds a little harsh here. Il faut que tu partes. Je voudrais que vous. Alright, so here we have finir. So we have finissons, finissez, finisse, double S, ENT. We drop off the ENT. And so we are left with finisse. And then we have our vous form, IEZ. Je voudrais que vous finissiez ce travail tout de suite. And so I would like you to do it. That's how I feel. And it doesn't necessarily mean you are going to finish it, but I would like you to. So it's my wish. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to. And that is why we put the subjunctive here. Number 3 with aller. Maman est contente qu'elle aille à l'université, like we saw in our subjunctive notes. Here we have pouvoir, and so if we remember, we have the puis is our stem, le radical. Mon frère est désolé que nous ne puissions pas chanter. Here we have punir, regular IR verb. So again, we have punisse. Le garçon a peur que le prof le punisse, so he's punishing the boy, he is punishing. And he is afraid, so this is emotion, and that's why we put subjunctive here. Ça m'étonnerait que, and that was one of our expressions on our worksheet, on our video notes, ça m'étonnerait qu'il se sente mieux. Okay, so sentir. Je me sens, tu te sens, il se sent, nous nous sentons, vous vous sentez, and ils se sentent. Il est sûr qu'il. Okay, it is sure, and we are sure, and therefore this one is not going to be subjunctive. I don't know why they have this in the subjunctive, because it shouldn't be. Because if you're sure, it's going to be indicative tense. This has to be pleut. On est sûr qu'il pleut aujourd'hui. This would have to be negative in order for this to be subjunctive. So this shouldn't even be in this section, this number 7. Because if it's sure, it's definitely not subjunctive. And let me just look in my subjunctive notes here, but il n'est pas sûr. Yeah, this should be, if this were to be subjunctive, we would have to say on n'est pas sûr, and then we would add qu'il pleuve aujourd'hui. But if we're sure, then it's not subjunctive, because there's no doubt. It has to be indicative tense here. So I don't know why that's in there. I'm going to take it out. Il est important, alright, it's important that we mettions un impair. This is the shortened version of un imperméable, so they just shorten it to un impair. What is the subjunctive stem? Comes from third person plural, present tense, and you subtract the ENT out of it. What are the endings? We already talked about this before, but EESE, IONS, IEZ, and ENT. Okay. Let me know if you have questions about that one, and we'll look at this together tomorrow morning. I'm in part F, not quite done. This is the last section. Here we have to choose between subjunctive or indicative tense. Now remember, indicative tense does not mean present tense always. Alright, indicative tense can be present, imperfect, passé composé. Indicative just means it's not subjunctive. Alright, so you have to be careful of the tense that you use when you conjugate your verb. Nous ne pensons pas. Alright, there's a doubt here. So we have to use the subjunctive here. Alright, so we're going to take the prenne, ENT, drop off the ENT, que vous preniez un verre avec nous. No, is that right? Prendre, is it regular here? Let me look. I just want to make sure. Prendre, subjunctive. Prendre is irregular in the subjunctive, of course it is. So let's just see what it does, because that double N doesn't look right to me. Go back. Prendre. Here we go. Subjunctive. Right. Alright. So here it is. In the subjunctive, we have double N, double N, double N, and then outside the boot, single N. That didn't look right to me. Alright, so this here should not have a double N. Prenier. Alright. My bad. I'm sorry. That one's irregular. It only has the double N inside the boot. I'm glad I looked that up. Alright. Il se peut que je. Alright, and here we have voir, which is also irregular. Que je vois. O-I-E. And then for vous, it's going to be V-O-Y, I-O-N-S, V-O-Y, I-E-Z. And then V-O-I inside the boot. And again, I have a doubt. Man, this subjunctive is going to kill me. Alright, let's just look. If I'm guessing it might be an S instead of an E, but I just want to double check so that we get it right. No, I'm right. So here we have it. Alright, V-O-I-E, V-O-I-E-S. Here we are. And for the nous and the vous, it goes to the Y, and then it goes back to the O-I. Okay, good. I had a doubt for a second. Après que tu. Alright, now here. Après que. This one I did look up, and apparently this is very muddled in French because a lot of French people put subjunctive after après que, but it is not. Subjunctive, après que, actually is after you do this, then you're going to do this. Alright, this is almost like a if-then clause, even though you don't have the word see in there. It's not a see clause, but it's almost like an if-then clause, because once you do this, once you go to the post office, then come see me. Alright, so we're going to treat it like that. And when you have an if clause that has present tense, the other part of it has to be, do you remember? Future. So after you will go to the post office, come see me. Alright, so this should be, so remember future tense, future simple is still indicative tense. Okay, just because it's future doesn't mean it's not indicative. Ils ne sont pas sûrs. So here we have they are not sure, so there's a doubt here, so therefore subjunctive. Les amis puissent venir. Il est certain. So this is sure, certain, no negative, no doubt. And so Marc est honnête. Present tense. Valerie says that Magellan discovered America. She's wrong. She said it. There's no doubt in her mind. And this is in English. We would say past tense. She says that Magellan discovered. This has to be passé composé. A découvert. She's wrong. The prof is happy that Elise received a good note, and this is feeling. This is one of the feeling expressions, and therefore we have to put it in the subjunctive. And qu'Elise reçoive une bonne note. Okay, recevoir is irregular. And that's my home phone. Vous êtes sûr quand il... Alright, here in 1898 maybe. Alright, are you sure when he became... Il est devenu... roi. Alright, you're sure that he became king. When he became king. Alright? Or are you sure? Alright. I know. This one I'm not sure about. Are you sure when he became king? Yeah, I mean, this is vous êtes sûr. There's no negative here, so this is does not indicate that we should put anything in the subjunctive here. I know that David is always on the internet at work. So present tense here. It's a shame that this one introduces our subjunctive clause. Et Martin ne dise jamais la vérité. Alright, if you have questions about this, we'll talk about it in class tomorrow. Allez, that's the last thing for today, I promise. Bonne journée.